Good morning, all of you. Today we will discuss another topic from the thermal analysis, that is part third, differential scanning calorimetry. This technique is used to study what happens to polymer sample upon heating. It is used to study thermal transition of a polymer or sample, the charges that take place on heating. Need to know about the calorimeter. It is one who measures the heat in or out of the sample, and differential calorimeter is one who measures the heat of the sample relative to the reference, and the differential scanning calorimeter does all of the above functions and heats the sample with the linear temperature. Both the sample and reference are maintained at nearly the same temperature throughout the experiment in DSC. The techniques was developed by E.S. Watson and M.J. O'Neill in 1962, most common than TGA technique. The principle: it is a technique in which the energy necessary to establish a zero temperature difference between the sample and reference material is measured as a function of temperature. Here, sample and reference material are heated by separate heaters in such a way that their temperature are kept equal, while these temperatures are increased or decreased linearly. During heating, two types of reactions can be take place. One is the endothermic and other is the exothermic. Endothermic reaction: if sample absorbs some amount of heat during phase transition, then reaction is said to be endothermic. In endothermic reaction, more energy needed to maintain zero temperature difference between sample and reference melt. Reference example: melting, boiling, sublimation, and vaporization. Whereas in exothermic reactions, if sample released some amount of heat during phase transition, then reaction is said to be exothermic. In exothermic reaction, less energy needed to maintain zero temperature difference between sample and reference. Example: crystallization, degradation, and polymerization. What happens to a polymer when heated? The polymer is heated in a device that looks like here in the diagram. Here you can see the two pens, that is sample pen and the reference pen, and the polymer is present in the sample pen, whereas the reference pen is empty, and this system is connected with the monitor to which regulates the heat flow. There are two pens in the sample pen. Polymer is added while the other reference is left empty. Each pen sits on the top of heaters which are controlled by a computer. The computer turns on heaters and let them heat the two pens at a specific rate. The computer makes absolutely sure that the heating rate stays exactly the same throughout the experiment. Let us discuss about the DSC curve, which is very important if we are discussing about the differential scanning calorimeter. The result of a DSC experiment is a curve of heat flux versus temperature or versus time. There are two different conventions: exothermic reaction in the sample shown with the positive or negative peak, depending on the kind of technology used in the experiment. The curve can be used to calculate enthalpies of transition, which is done by integrating the peak corresponding to a given transition. The enthalpy of transition can be expressed using equation delta H is equals to Ka, where delta H is enthalpy of transition, K is calorimetric constant, and A is the area under the curve. A calorimetric constant varies from instrument to instrument and can be determined by analyzing a well-characterized material of known enthalpies of transition. Area under the peak is directly proportional to heat absorbed or evolved by the reaction. Heat of the peak is directly proportional to rate of the reaction. Factors affecting DSC curve: basically there are two types of factors, that is instrumental factor and the sample characteristics. So instrumental factors include furnace heating rate, recording or chart speed, furnace atmosphere, geometry of sample holder, and the sample characteristics include amount of the sample, nature of the sample, sample packing, particle size, heat of reaction, and thermal conductivity. Now, there are two types of DAC instrument, that is heat flux DAC and the power compensation DAC. Here you can see the diagram or the pictures of both the power compensated DAC and heat flux DAC. So how we can prepare our sample, accurately weighed sample, and that is approximately 3 to 20 mg samples, small sample pans. We have to take like 0.1 ml of inert or treated metals are used for sample preparation. Several pan configurations, example open, pinhole, or hermetically sealed pans. The same material and configuration should be used for the sample and the reference. Material should completely cover the bottom of the pan to ensure good thermal contact. Avoid overfilling the pan to minimize thermal lag from the bulk of the material to the sensor. So DAC can measure glass transition, melting and boiling point, crystallization, percent crystallinity, heat of fusion, specific heat capacity, and purity as well. Determination of heat capacity by the DAC curve, we can find out the heat capacity of the polymer, and then further after further heating we can find out the glass transition temperature, and after this we can find out the crystallinity and then the melting temperature, and then putting all above factors we get the DAC curve. Here we can see after heating, when we start heating two pans, the computer will plot the difference in heat output of the two heaters against temperature, that is plot of heat absorbed by the polymer against temperature. The plot will look like this. A linear curve you will get, linear line. The heat flow is heat Q as supplied per unit time T, whereas the heating rate is temperature increase delta T per unit time. Here you can see this formula, heating rate is equal to delta T upon T. On further heating the polymer to a certain temperature, plot will shift downwards suddenly. As you can see in this picture, there is a sudden shift towards a downward, which is showing the glass transition temperature. After glass transition, the polymer have a lot of mobility. When they reach the right temperature, they will give off enough energy to move into very ordered arrangement is called crystal. So here you can see a peak which will highlight the crystallinity of the polymer. If we heat our polymer past its crystal temperature, eventually we will reach another thermal transition called the melting. When we reach the polymer's melting temperature, that is Tm, the polymer crystal begins to fall apart, that is they melt. When the polymer crystal melt, they must absorb heat in order to do so. So here we can get the endothermic reaction and a peak which is downward. And if we compile all these curves, we will get a DAC curve or thermogram. Here the TG highlights the transition, glass transition temperature, TC is the crystal temperature, and at TM is the melting point temperature. Best way to perform DAC is proper instrument calibration, use purge gas, good thermal contact between the sample and the temperature sensing devices.